The secret code of dogs, the lost language of prehistory, still alive today. Over 10,000 years ago, even before writing, the ancestors of dogs spoke not with words, but with a secret code of barks, growls, and howls that echoed across the prehistoric plains. And here's a fact that will blow your mind. Archaeologists have found fossils that suggest these sounds weren't random, but rather a primitive language, so structured that some call it the Canine Rosetta Stone. Imagine, a single type of bark could mean prey in sight, while another alerted to a predator, and all this before any human civilization existed. Most impressive? Studies show that modern dog barks still carry sonic traits identical to these ancient calls, as if each dog were a living guardian of sonic memories from the Stone Age. And perhaps the secret to this deep connection between humans and dogs was born when our ancestors, hungry and vulnerable, learned to interpret this code. A growl, a low-pitched bark, a pause, a short howl, and prehistoric man already knew whether it was time to attack, flee, or wait. Today, every time your dog barks, you may be hearing an echo from over 10,000 years ago, a whisper straight from the dawn of history's oldest friendship. Think about it. Long before the first hunting agreements between humans and wolves, this vocal language already functioned like an invisible network, coordinating precise attacks, protecting pups, and maintaining pack cohesion even in hostile territories. Some sounds were so specific that they functioned as passwords recognized only by the pack itself, preventing predators or rivals from understanding the message. Researchers believe that over time, humans began to imitate certain tones and rhythms, creating a sonic bridge between species. And it was this bridge that forever changed the course of our history. Together, humans and dogs became unbeatable hunters, inseparable allies. Most intriguingly, to this day, certain vocalizations trigger automatic responses in dogs, as if a genetic memory were triggered instantly, where sound echoes. So the next time you hear your dog barking at something you can't see, remember, perhaps he's using a fragment of an ancient language passed down from generation to generation, from a time when the world was wild and every sound could mean life or death. What if I told you that some scientists are trying to reconstruct this lost language of dogs, using recordings of wolves, African wild dogs, and domestic breeds? They are mapping patterns that have repeated themselves for millennia, almost as if they were translating a fossilized dialect. The most surprising discovery so far is that certain sounds emitted by modern dogs trigger instinctive reactions in wolves that have never had contact with humans, as if the code were universal and timeless. This raises a fascinating question. Could our bond with dogs actually be the legacy of an alliance forged not just by coexistence, but by the mutual understanding of a language created in the wild? Imagine the scene. A freezing night, a small group of humans around a fire, and in the distance, a specific howl that they understand danger is approaching. This simple sound could change the fate of the entire tribe. Today, surrounded by technology, we think communication is about words, but perhaps the oldest and most powerful conversation in the world is still happening. Every time your dog looks into your eyes and lets out a single bark. Perhaps that's why, even without realizing it, you understand when your dog's bark is of joy, warning, or fear. This interpretation isn't just the result of coexistence. It can be an inherited instinct, a reflex engraved in our DNA over thousands of years of partnership. Think about it. While other species kept their distance, the dog approached, protected us, and shared its secret vocabulary. In return, we learned to respond, to interpret, to speak back. And this connection isn't limited to sound. The tone, the rhythm, even the pauses between barks carry meaning, like commas and periods in an invisible sentence. It's as if each dog carries within itself a book of stories written with echoes of prehistory, stories that, curiously, we still know. Read. So the next time your dog gives that short bark and then lowers his head, remember, you may be hearing not just a sound, but a living fragment of an ancient language that united two worlds forever. And the most poetic thing is that this ancestral language has survived not because it was written on stone or parchment, but because it was kept in the hearts and instincts of each generation. It is a living language, passed down not by teachers, but by mothers who growled to protect their pups, by hunters who howled to rally the pack, by companions who warned each other of unseen dangers in the night. It's as if every dog born carries a piece of this code, ready to be shared with any human willing to truly listen. And perhaps that's why, when a dog and its owner understand each other without needing words, the moment seems magical, because deep down it's the resurrection of an ancient pact, a pact that began when two distinct worlds decided to trust each other, joining their voices to survive, and that, against all odds, lives on to this day, disguised as a simple bark in the yard.